Hey there, berries. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the 13.20 support tier list. As I always like to do, we like to go through the notes, things that are going to affect support, and then we go through the tier list. And the tier list is for unranked to emerald. Let me make that clear. Unranked to emerald. If you are high ELO than that, then you probably should be already knowing what you should play. Like, you don't need me at that point, right? Hopefully. 13.20 is a interesting patch because it's a patch that does change a lot of fundamentals, largely keystones and jungle stuff. There are a couple of direct support buffs and nerfs. You can see on the nerfs list over there that there aren't actually any supports listed as a nerf, but that's a lie. Morgana is a support nerf, and I won't let Riot trick us into thinking that it's a Morgana buff. I think they don't know what they're doing with her, and she just needs a rework. I don't know what the hell they're doing. But anyway, so yeah, lots of fundamental changes. I'll go over them like kind of briefly and how that might affect the game, but it's like a broad change across the board where metas will be changing a lot in the other areas at the start of the patch, and then it might then end up shifting a bit more in terms of what's going to be changing as a support as it goes on. So it's a little bit, I think, like I'm 95% solid with my tier list in terms of like giving you direction, and you know, a lot of them are the same suspects, usual suspects. But just do note that there could be like a champion or two that might come through because of the general kind of like, but there are some highlights of the patch that are particularly going to make happy for AP supports. But anyway, nerfs. Here's a Kaiser nerf. A couple of annoying champions to deal with as a support, like Zed and Bel'Veth and Action. They're all getting nerfed, which is quite nice. Buffs: Galio, Jinx, Milio, Morgana, and Ziggs. It's a nerf. It's a nerf, okay, for Morgana. But Milio is getting a decent chunk of a buff. Ziggs is a minor buff. Galio might end up seeing more rotations of him. Cassante's getting a whole rework. Visual update to Jack, so he might start looking weird in game, so don't get freaked out too much. But yeah, Jinx is getting buffs across the board, so expect some more Jinx players. Jinx generally does well with Milio. Seeing a correlation here. And Lulu and kind of champions like that, some enchanters. She's generally like okay with a lot of supports. So yeah, she has like follow up with like putting her traps down for a hard engage. She's got decent range with her Q rockets and stuff. So yeah, Jinx is going to be in an interesting position next patch, but largely affecting her super mega death rocket. Kaiser getting a slight armor nerf, nothing too crazy, but it will affect her early laning phase, which will allow her to get poked more down by Jinx and Caitlyn, etc. So yeah. So Milio is getting a slight change on the way his passive works with Hextech Putrefier. I probably wouldn't really recommend picking up like anti-heal anyway on enchanters, but if you had to, Milio is going to apply it a little bit better now with the burn, which is kind of cool. Shields going down on cooldown by a flat second across the board, plus base values are going up across the board, which is pretty big Milio buff considering he has 2 of these charges. And healing also going up with a 20% AP ratio, which is quite significant, I'd say. So like you get around about 200 AP ish, maybe a bit more as an enchanter throughout the game. So that's like plus 40, not including healing and shielding power that you have on you, and then that's just on, you know, one target. So this could in theory add an extra like 150 to 200 healing in a team fight, which I think is substantial enough to say like, yeah, that's actually quite a significant buff. I mean, the AP ratio alone is pretty good. So yeah, decent Milio buffs. Haven't really seen any Milios at all. I know he had his Q buffed and I haven't really tested it, so maybe I'll test the Milio next patch. I actually kind of forgot about him, if I'm going to be honest. I completely forgot about that he even existed. So yeah, and here's the Morgana ones. Morgana has felt weak for a while, but it's been difficult to buff her due to her high ban rate. High ban rate? Like in what? Like an iron or something? Like people ban Morgana? Her high ban rate? I don't know what they're huffing. I've honestly, I know I play in Diamond Plus, but I've never seen Morgana banned. And I've always advocated for that she's absolutely garbage. So yeah, I don't know why they're considering Morgana to being like a threat or something. I don't know what they're talking about. This patch, we're buffing her ult to ensure it continues to be worth casting as the game progresses, but slightly increasing the E cooldown to give CC support small windows to interact with her. Basically, they're saying that her shield is too hard to play around, so they're nerfing even further. The thing has a 24-second cooldown. Like, that's like longer than a Blitzcrank hook, I think, at level 1. Like, if you're struggling to play around the Black Shield, then it's a player issue, not like it's going to 26-second cooldown for a basic shield. The shield isn't even that good now. I'm upset. I'm upset that this is even a thing. This needs buffing, not nerfing. I don't know what the hell they're doing. But yeah, Morgana is like, this alone just basically kills the champion even more. Like, she's already dead, and then someone's just gone with a stick and just went. But she's dead. So why are you hitting her? Anyway, on the plus side, we get a 3% AP ratio per tech on the W, and a monster damage modifier. Wowee. They've also done some stuff with her ulti, but like the whole problem with Morgana is her body ultimate, and like, okay, they're buffing it to make it seem a little bit better, which is like okay, but like just revamp the champion already. It's been like this for way too long. Like, it's been, what, she had this since release, right? She hasn't actually been reworked. She's been like this for 13 years. Give her a new ultimate, please. Anyway, bonus movement speed while facing towards tethered enemies going up, so you move a little bit faster while you're tethering, but you're probably going to have the Zhonya's really quickly anyway, so that's not really a huge deal. That might help you when you're level 6. The first ulti you get to do before you get Giga Nuke down. Stun duration is going up, so congratulations if you actually manage to finish the channel of your ulti before dying. You get rewarded with a slightly longer stun. Cool. Magic damage going up, flat 25, plus 10% APA, and this will still hit twice. So this is, the damage of it is actually quite nice if you manage to complete the channel. But come on, like this, you're playing a squishy enchanter where you have to rush Zhonya's first item, expecting the support and to get a full channel off is utter insanity. This, I don't know, they're calling this a buff, but like this E-Shield here thing, just like, if you really want to buff Morgana Riot, just lower this down to like 20 seconds at least. Like, using the argument that people can't play around with it, give CC support small windows to interact with her. It is a 26 cooldown though. What are you doing, man? Like, it's meant to counter CC supports. It's like the whole point of a shield, to try and, like, she used to try and counter Blitzcrank, but that's not even viable now because Blitzcrank hook is like, you know, you just wait until 6 if you have to, right? Like, and that's just only countering like a couple of champions. It's lunacy. It's utter lunacy. Anyway, I just don't know. I'm just annoyed by that. AP supports are getting buffed. The Blighting Jewel total gold cost is going down from 1.2k to 1.1k, which is pretty significant because the completed item Void Staff will still cost the same amount of money, but that just allows you to hit this spike sooner. So it means, like, you know, before, like, if you had to choose between getting the Blighting Jewel and maybe like no control words, now you can get the Blighting Jewel and a couple of control words. So yeah, people like Brand, Zyra, Xerath, this is gonna, like, Zyra hasn't been nerfed, by the way, and she's been absolutely S+ tier for such a long time. This is just another item that's just going to add her win rate up even more. It's going to be nuts. She's going to get nerfed soon for 100%. There's a bunch of jungle changes, which I don't have the willpower, and my dyslexia is just like, yeah, those are numbers. Those are great. I'm feel whatever for jungle. I don't really know what that means. If it's going to slow them down or not, but from what my understanding of it, the brief understanding is that junglers should take less damage in the jungle now or something. Whatever, mate. Like, if someone in the comment section and down below want to like TLDR this to me, this means absolutely like nothing to me because I don't play jungle. I've never main jungle, whatever. Right, starter item buffs. Support items across the board are getting buffed, okay? But also Dorans and stuff. So this is to try and prevent people doing like 80 carries, for example, doing like longsword start. So you're going to see 80 carries basically mandatory now, have to pick up a Doran's Blade rather than going longsword to try and get their recipes completed quicker. So quite a significant attack damage and health buff, 20 extra health, 2 extra attack damage. It's going to make last hitting easier as well for a lot of AD carries. So yeah, this it basically feels really good now to buy Doran's Ring as well. Same across that too. Doran's Shield also getting a little buff. I wouldn't say as much as the other items, but Doran's Shield still getting buffed. Dark Seal even seeing a buff. Relic Shield getting an extra 2 AP, plus 50 to 50 HP. Spell Thief's Edge also, and Spectral. So an extra 2 AP, an extra 15 health, just for free, which is pretty nice. Like, you know, just some free stuff. It's nice that they thought of the support items, because this could have definitely been feeling pretty sad for support. So this helps balance it out and just makes those early items better. I don't think, because they haven't got them here, I don't think the conversions are stronger. So it's just like the initial Spell Thief's Edge is stronger, and then I think Frostfang after that, once it converts, should in theory have the same stats. But I mean, I'm assuming that's the case. There's a lot of rune changes coming in too. Water walking is getting a quite significant nerf in terms of movement speed. So if you were a roaming support taking water walking, which there wasn't many, I never really used this rune anyway. I think it's more attributed to junglers maybe, and like a couple of like champions like Lilia and things like that. Yeah, movement speed going down quite significantly on the rotations. Yeah, they're looking at snowballing. Snowballing in League of Legends currently happens very quickly, which leads to a large amount of games feeling like they're being decided in 15 minutes in. True. This doesn't allow players to experience a lot of the other fun aspects of League. There are fun aspects of League. Someone tell me? What? No one told me that. I've been playing for 13 years and no one's told me that. Outside of the laning phase, like late game team fighting, objective testing and planning, satisfying item breaks, and macro play. The problem is, more prevalent in the high levels of play, but it happens more than we're comfortable with in all skill brackets. To adjust this, we're making adjustments to many of the systems in League that contribute to the issue of how quickly games are decided. Whether it's through gold or not affecting rune outputs quite so much, shorter dev timers allowing behind players to get back into lane sooner, or dragons not offering as many stats for the winning team. These are all intended to create more time to play before a game feels decided. Basically, TLDR, games ending too quickly. Your AD carry keeps spamming FF15 at 2 minutes into the game once someone's died in the jungle. So yeah, they're nerfing everything on Dragon. Dragons are worth less, significantly less now. Dragon Soul is buffed. So they just made Dragon Soul strong. Like the little dragons beforehand are kind of like meh. After that, it's like, okay, you basically definitely win. If you lose the game with Dragon Soul, you're trolling, basically. That's the point of this, I think. Rift Herald now gives less gold. Baron Nashor now has more health. So once again, it kind of loops back into AP supports being stronger, because AP supports do quite a lot of damage to Baron. Brand in particular. Zarya, once again, also one of those champions that does a lot of damage to Baron Nashor. So another support AP buff. Death timers adjustments, which actually affects supports, because supports generally are the lowest level in the game. So this is going to allow us to in even harder. Let's go supports. So yeah, we get to revive quicker. Nice. Turret plates are, the gold is going down. 175 to 125. So yeah, don't be too confused about not getting quite as much gold from turrets now, which also decreases the value on demolish if you were to take that on a couple of tank supports. Keystone rune changes. By the way, I love overall the fact that this patch has a lot of fundamental changes across the board. More patches need to do this. Right, we shouldn't have to wait 5 years or something for a patch to actually start changing stuff to do with League. It's absolutely insane. Like, can we get more of these? Like, one of these every like 2 to 3 months, please? It's ridiculous how long we have to wait. Conqueror's getting nerfed. Lethal tempo. Basically, all the keystones are generally getting nerfed. Like, we get to, for example, like electrocute. They generally, on a lot of the keystones, if you look at it, they've upped the base value on the later levels, but they've reduced the AP scaling and AD scaling by like a metric ton. So this is where like all those AP support buffs we were talking about earlier this is where like the slight nerf is to maybe make up for some of this stuff. There's an interesting one that we're going to go into with Airy, where Airy is not 100% sure about this, but this might end up getting buffed again. I'm not sure. This might end up being too weak now, summon Airy. But base damage has gone up. AP value has been halved from 10% to 5%. That's pretty good considering like stuff like Electrocute has gone from like 25% to 5%. So the damage on Airy is going to be like not that much lower than what we're used to. It's the shield from Airy. It's going from 30 to 75 to 30 to 100, but the bonus AD and AP is like 22.5% AP down to 5%. Now the Airy shield is going to be like a decent chunk weaker. Yeah, we're getting like this extra chunk up here with the base value, but we won't see that support. We won't hit those later levels. So this is a significant shield Airy nerf, but if your champion does enough poke, the damage should still be the same-ish, like slightly less, but like pretty much the same-ish because we're only losing 5% AP ratio there. So it's going to be interesting to see how champions like Sona and Soraka and Nami deal with stuff like this. Some people might think that alternative is the maybe going to Arcane Comet, but I don't think that is either, because you got the same issue with the latest scalings on the base, and the AP ratio is also kind of meh. So yeah, I'm not really sure how to feel about this. One thing to note is that they haven't nerfed Guardian, so we could end up having something like Guardian Sona, Guardian Soraka kind of back and playing like a little even more passive, but getting still like okay, like pretty decent like shield values overall. So obviously the poking in lane is going to go down, but there could be a case where you can just go like Guardian Soraka, Guardian Sona, Guardian Nami is gonna feel pretty bad, but I'm willing to try it. Like, but it might be okay into like the tanky stuff like Pyke and Nautilus and Leona, and like the engages. Guardian might still be okay playing that on Nami, but I don't know. It would feel weird not playing Summon Area on Nami. Yeah, that's basically it. If they got rid of the bait ping, actually, this patch, the bait ping has been replaced with the enemy vision thing. No. And they replaced the hold ping. Interesting. I used that quite a lot, the hold ping, legitimately. Was anyone actually using the hold ping badly? Riot. Okay. And there's a bunch of world stuff and shops and things. What's the stuff for supports? Oh, it's the Redeemed Star Guardian, Rakan, and Zaya. Let me know in the comment section. Oh, and got Kova Nami. Everyone's been asking me about bloody Kova Nami. Yes, I will be playing Kova Nami at some point once Riot gives me the stuff. But yeah, this Redeemed Star Guardian, Rakan, and Zaya, is that like 250 mythic essence now or something? Don't know, let me know in the comments. Anyway, to the tier list, the bit that you guys have been waiting for. Nothing's changed in tier 5. Tier 4 has a 1 or 2 champions removed from there. So once again, Iron to Emerald, this tier list, okay? So I moved Milio up from tier 4 to tier 3. He is still going to be very, very, very hyper dependent on how good your AD carry is. The higher ELO you are, Milio would be better. The same with Lulu. The same with Bard, which is now in tier 2. Spoiler. The high ELO you are, some of these champions are just better in high ELO. Milio is one of those. Hyper carries are very difficult to play for people in Iron, Bronze, Silver, because they are just garbage, right? No offense. 80 carries, like Riot have said it themselves, playing 80 carries in low ELO is troll. Okay, they probably didn't use those words, but playing 80 carry in low ELO is troll. They actually suggest, people have suggested, myself included, is that you just play AP carry. like Ziggs being buffed. Just, you know, just play stuff. If you're an AD carry in low, just play Ziggs and Carthus. Just play AP stuff. It's fine. In your climb, it's crazy. Believe me. But yeah, until you get to like high yellow and better AD carries, like that's when Lulu, Milio, etc. come through. With the weird exception of Sona. Sona's cracked. She's tier 1. Spoiler. Nami's still tier 3. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I want to put her higher. She's getting a skin. She didn't get buffed and she got a skin. I don't know. This summon area change is going to be weird. I think Guardian will probably end up potentially being the best since it didn't get touched. Yeah, I don't know. I think Nami's like a solid okay pick. I don't think she'll ever make the meta again in terms of like being tier 1 again. I really don't think so. It's just, yeah, unless there's like an item that Riot releases that is absolutely cracked for Nami again, but they're just not seeing the moistness. Anyway, tier 2 we have still pretty strong picks. Bard moved up from tier 3 to tier 2. We'll still say do not play Bard until you hit like silver, but he's actually exceeded my expectations in terms of how good people have been managing to play him, and particularly in like gold plus. So gold plus I would say is then entering to tier 2. If you're in diamond, Bard is tier 1. If you're higher than tier 1, Bard is like broken. But yeah, Bard very, very good right now. Rakan very, very good, hard engaged there too. Rakan is probably my favorite pick out of all of them in tier 2. So yeah. And in tier 1, got kind of the usual ones, but I have made Zareth tier 1 because the AP supports I think are definitely going to make more of an impact. I just realized something in my tier list which I'm not happy with, which I don't think I've ever done this in one before, but I'm going to edit this. This brand needs to go to tier 2. So yeah, save. Sorry about that. There you go, you saw nothing. So yeah, brand tier 2. The AP Zyra, Zareth, and Brand are just nice. Baron's got more health, so these champions, like the Brand and the Zyra in particular, are going to make much more of an impact on that with the Leandries and Brand's passive and things like that. So yeah, they're going to be standout, and yeah, I've got nothing really else to add. Those are my picks for this patch. I hope you guys enjoy my content. Thank you for watching my content. Appreciate you guys, and thank you for leaving comments on the YouTube section. Thank you for coming to my streams rather than on them. Twitch.tv/Bizzleberry. I will be playing League on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, all the days. I don't know if I listed all of the days. I may have missed one. We'll be playing on Wednesday at around about 9:30 UK time, and for around about 6 hours. Then I've got to go do real life stuff. So we'll be playing on the new patch on EU West tomorrow. Feel free to say hi. See you then. Bye.